Welcome back to Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by your Toyota dealers. We make it easy. Chris McGee, James Worthy, Robert Ory. We got Allie and Mike Trudell down at the arena. LeBron and the Lakers pick up the win over the Suns. You combo that with a Houston Rockets loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Lakers have secured first round of the playoffs, home court advantage. They lock up the 4th seed for sure. We're going to take a look at the standings here. They are still a game behind Denver. Denver plays at San Antonio on Sunday. The Lakers are home versus the Utah Jazz. But big game, Rob. We talked about it in the pregame show. The importance of home court advantage in the playoffs, your body of work for the entire season, your 52 wins going into game 82. Very impressive for this Laker team.
Very impressive, Guido. I give them a lot of credit for staying the course. Even though they were without some players, they played hard as a team, as a unit, led by LeBron. I thought the rest of the team, picked up the pieces and were able to get not only the win tonight, but to win the other night, 2 in a row to secure home court advantage. I thought Ayton, he stepped up. Jake LaRavia, Marcus Smart coming back. The role players really did a great job, and Jake LaRavia, Luke Kennard continues to be a major asset for this team. So they have been building that chemistry all along, and it still seems to sustain itself right now. They've beaten two teams to secure the home court advantage. Now they get to see what happens, how they can go forward.
And, Rob, you don't know if you're opening up on Saturday or Sunday, but you will have that entire week off. Most likely right now, if it started today, you would be matched up with the Houston Rockets. What does this do to the confidence of this team? Losing your 2 big scorers in Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. Of course, you still have your superstar in LeBron James. But then to pick up the back-to-back wins, even though everybody's shorthanded right now, including the Lakers, but to get these wins kind of in dominant fashion, and now at least you're opening at home.
Well, the Lakers going to play on Sunday, Giddy. We always play on Sunday. But I think one of the things I want to point out first is the fact that when you make a trade for a guy like Luke Kennard, it's kind of hard to get within the mix. I think with these 2 guys being out, that has allowed him to get his rhythm. Now, he's gotten his rhythm along with the other guys, so they kind of understand him. And they're playing very well without the 2 big dogs. But what's more important is they're playing good on defense. Even though they didn't rebound well tonight, they had other games where they talk, and you see them communicating. And with their defensive leader back and Marcus Smart, that's even better. So these next 2 games, his next game, I should say, for Marcus Smart is to get his feet under him and become that floor general in so many other different ways. But I really like the way they're using their hands. Even when Luka was there, he's using their hands to call turnovers, because that's one of the things that we always used to keep track of is tip balls, because tip balls lead to turnovers or something other, like a bad shot or something positive for the defense.
So let's start with the defenses. Rob led us right there. James, tonight you hold the Suns to 73 points. That's a season low. Only 35 points in the second half for Phoenix. They were 7 of 40 from 3. The Lakers had 17 steals, 3 blocks. They turned that into 19 fast break points, and they were dialed in on that end of the floor, James.
They're connected. Something they have been building for the last month or so. J.J. Redick puts a lot of pressure and demands on that side of the ball, and they have responded. I thought pressure on the ball. When you have guys like Marcus Smart, who puts pressure on the ball, Jake LaRavia, he's a guy that puts, pressure on the ball as well. So you get good perimeter play, and then you have guys like Ayton, who's there to rim protect. They did a pretty good job of, protecting the rim and not giving up. Well, the first half they gave up a lot of offensive rebounds. Second half they corrected that. So defensively, I think they know that's what gets them going. It kind of dictates their offense, Gita. And tonight was a great exception.
And, Rob, when you look at LeBron James, and we're going to show you the 3 games that he has played without Luka and AR, those guys go down. You turn the ball over to your 41-year-old in his 23rd season. It doesn't matter if he's in his 3rd season or his 23rd. He is going to prepare the same way, and he's going to play the same style of basketball. This is nothing new to him. He's averaging 28, shooting 60% from the field, 46% from 3, almost 13 assists and 8 rebounds.
I think sometimes we forget how good he was when AR was out, and he had to do a lot of this similar thing. and now we got both those guys out. I mean, he's going to get more touches. And he's such a dynamic scorer. He's such a great passer. He's putting the defense on their heels in so many different ways. You know, I'm not going to say he's the greatest, you know, getting the shot off as a Luka is, but he is just as dangerous. And I think sometimes we look at his age and the number of years he's been in the league and think, oh, he doesn't have it. Oh, he still got it. You know, even at this age, he's still better than 95% of the league. And so for me, when you watch him play, he's still able to attack, put the pressure on the defense, and when you collapse, he's still able to find guys with open passes. And you just love his way he plays with such an energy and such an efficiency of like a young kid.
And James, it's the variety of ways he's scoring, too. He's getting 2-3 dunks in the lane, on people, on fast breaks. He's hitting the bank. He's getting the mid-range. He's bully ball. He's also stepping back and hitting the threes. And, of course, he's 12 assists again tonight. So that puts him over 12K. Only a few guys have done that in the history of the league. He also added 4 steals.
Yeah.
Tonight.
You're talking about, you know, a guy that's 23 years, Geeter. He's got a huge bag of tricks. You know, he's learned a lot. He's experienced a lot, you know, a lot of playoff experience. So he's seen it all. And, you know, he works on his game relentlessly. So he has more experience, more moves, more basketball IQ than anybody on the floor. So when he brings that, he's going to be successful when he's in shape, when he's, you know, not injured. He's in, you know, big, playing bully ball. That's what I like. He takes them in the paint and punishes them. Then he can go back outside and shoot the three, handle the ball. He's doing it all for this team right now. How important is his playoff experience for this team, especially starting that series without the other two?
It's very important just for the fact that they need leadership. And sometimes in playoff games, emotions are going to run high. And you got to have a guy who can calm the situation down. You think about all the playoff games, number one of all playoff games, number one all time. And he's been through every situation, like James says. He can get the guys under control, and also he can go in and coach if he needs be. Because he's, like you just said, he's seen every situation. And when you got that extra guy on the floor that sees things and can go to the coach and say, hey, this is what's happening, that's beneficial for the team. And when he's able to tell people what to do, it makes it easy. Because if you don't have to think in this game, it makes this game a whole lot simpler.
Also, in addition to that, you know, you have LeBron with the most experience. But also when you bring over Marcus Smart, who's Defensive Player of the Year,
been to an NBA Finals,
a great guy that's been to the finals with the Celtics, and you know he also brings another dimension to add with LeBron. I think they can go hand in hand. They trust one another's leadership. He's another asset as well.
Rob, I'm glad you brought up Luke Kennard in the Open, and you brought up a great point about fitting in with this team, and now we're seeing even more in these last 3 games. He's been super impressive. 6 of 12 tonight, 19 points, went to the line 5 times. You mentioned shooting the technicals. He's 5 for 5 there, 2 for 4 from 3. But also another game with 3 steals, so he's doing it on both ends. But I think, Rob, what I noticed pretty quickly with him when he became a Laker, because before you're only watching him in a different light, you know he's a great 3-point shooter, his decision-making with the basketball, his ability to go off the dribble. And JJ mentioned that the moment they got him. I think, to me, that's the most impressive. What kind of jumps out for you?
I think when you think of, like, guys like him, Klay Thompson, they shoot a lot of threes. And then you're like, can they dribble? I didn't know this guy had the skills like that. He's able to play point guard. He's able to get guys involved. You just showed that highlight there where he kind of faked it and hit a little bounce pass to LeBron for a dunk. Those things I never knew he had in his bag. And so that's going to be great for them because they just don't have to depend on those other 2 guys. Now that you can trust him, and now you see what he can do, guys, I'm sure a lot of guys he's playing with probably like, I didn't know he had handles like that. I know you can see it in practice, but practice ain't the same as a game.
For sure.
And so now you're seeing the skill set, and when you start to believe in him a little more, and now you start to do things like, oh, he can handle the ball. Now I'm going to cut back door. I'm going to do these things because you know he has the IQ to go along with everything else.
Really high IQ, and he knows guys are going to try to rush him off the 3-point line. And then he's able to get in the lane. And, James, I've noticed, too, he's at the right hand, the left hand, soft touch around the basket. He's got the bank. He's got the floater. He's got more in his bag than I think people realize.
Yeah, he's very talented, Dieter. And, a great shooter. You know, and didn't he break LeBron's record in Akron, Ohio for something?
Yeah, points.
Points?
Yeah.
So I think he's always been able to put it on the floor.
For 10,000 yards.
A little bit, but he hadn't had to because he's a spot-up shooter.
I think he's a quarterback.
Really? Yeah. He's savvy. Well, if he was a quarterback, then, you know, he has some talent. And, yeah, I didn't know he could put it on the floor as well either, but a point guard, he's been playing for the Lakers, and he's thrown lobs, he's made the great decisions on passes, and he's knocked shots down, so he's doing it.
Might want to fact check me on that, but I'm almost positive.
But you know, it's so crazy that how
get in my ear.
when you get in the NBA, you're so good at one thing, that's who you become. They define you as a three-point shooter. And a lot of guys in the NBA are like, man, you know I can post up. You know I got handles right. And you don't know that because you get on the team, you have other guys who are better at you than that. So you don't get to use that skill set. So I'm starting to see a skill set from this guy it's impressing me.
All right, time to hear from Coach J.J. Redick, brought to you by your Toyota dealers.
JJ, for tonight, you hold